My friend is leading me down the main street in town towards what she tells me is her absolute favorite store. Let's go! I have to show you, she exclaims, smiling at me, wearing one of her nicest vintage shirt dresses she has reminded me she bought at this very same store. The staff are so nice, and the selections are just lovely. She skips towards the front window of the shop. I glance into the window to see a mannequin adorned in a nice small chic hat, green A-line dress, and black T-strap high heels. The rest of the display is decorated with old bags, handbags, jewelry, and cute umbrellas and parasols. Well, I'm just as excited as you are. I nod at her as we open the front door, a small bell ringing as we step inside to the air conditioning. The store is certainly beautiful, neatly divided into sections, labeled, and clothing neatly folded or held on racks over pink hangers. We walk through the center of the store together as she takes my hand in hers. We glance around at all the pretty dresses, skirts, blouses, pants, shoes, and lingerie, all vintage and authentic. They even had some pieces from the Victorian era and the 1920s, although the store specialized in the decades between the 1930s and the 1980s. Charlie, we should pick some things out and try them on, no? She says to me. Sure. I love the detail on these garments. And they look brand new almost, I reply. I have been cross-dressing for years, but sometimes I do wish I were a complete girl. My friend, Bailey, knows this about me, but she's very supportive and I'm grateful for her not making things weird. Bailey starts to pick some things out as I watch. I comment at the dress she's perusing. That looks lovely. Right? She states, feeling its fabric. Perhaps for you? I walk towards her and feel the soft sea green fabric for myself. Perhaps, yes. Let's check it out. I really came here for you. We gotta pick some new stuff out for you. I know I adore vintage, but what do you think? We build you a vintage side to your wardrobe? I nod in agreement as I take the dress off the rack, checking its size. It seems too small and my suspicions are confirmed when I see a little number 2 written behind the neck. This is gonna be too small, I say, shaking my head. Well, sizes and brands can be weird, let's just see, She smiles, and I agree. We look further into the store as I carry the dress carefully in my arms so as not to create any creases on it. I find myself adoring the fabric and the color, hoping it just might fit me. We cruise into the lingerie section and I look up at a rose-pink full camisole, taking it off of the rack, reading size 2 yet again. Now, I almost don't care if things fit for some reason, I just want to explore more. I promptly pick out a matching white bra and panties set and move over towards the hosiery. You've been busy, Bailey remarks. Oh, yes. This store is full of pretty things. This is really a treat. I smile back at her. How about these? Bailey picks out a set of light black hose with the signature vintage backseam. With this. She holds up the stockings beside a black garter belt. Quite authentic, I say, taking both, draping them over my arms, on top of the dress. Shoes? I ask. Although, they definitely don't have any in my size, I laugh. Bailey giggles. Probably not, but let's see anyway. We move towards the shoes and I instantly see a pair strike me in the heart. A red pair of slingbacks seem to be calling my name. I take the shoes into my hands, reading the size, US 5. I cringe slightly as I know these are far too small, but I take them regardless. Bailey returns and shows me her newest find. She holds out a red hairband and a pair of dangly diamond earrings. What do you think? And, oh, lovely shoes. They match the headband. She giggles again. Let's find a dressing room for you, she says almost flirtatiously, skipping towards the back of the shop. I follow her into an empty dressing stall. It's quite large. The two of us fit in there easily, but I kindly ask her to step out. Of course. Do you think, girl? She winks as she shuts the door. I turn the lock and begin to undress. Now naked, I peer at my body in the full-length mirror before me. I've been very good about keeping my body androgynous, it's hairless, but my masculine bone structure and shape still strike me as discomforting. I've always used clothes to cover up my body so I don't have to feel so terrible about it. With this thought in mind, I slip the panties up my legs first and secure them upon my hips. I pull the bra out next and put the straps over my shoulders, doing up the back like a pro. I smile at myself and pose a bit as I admire myself in the femme underwear. My head, at this moment, starts to feel dizzy and I take a deep breath. Relax, Charlie. You're still quite striking, I whisper to myself. The bra and panties are quite tight on me, and I have no breasts to fill the cups. This bothers me, but I practice my breathing and take the garter belt next. I pull it up my waist and past my hips and forcefully bring it onto my waist. I let me breath out and create a vacuum in my stomach to shrink my waist before giving the tight garment one last tug, finally letting it rest across my waist. I release my breath and immediately feel the tightness of all the garments. I feel like I want to cry. I feel like a big ugly man in these most definitely ultra-feminine undergarments. The spinning in my head starts to intensify as the oddest thing takes place while my negative thoughts run wild, turning blank in awe as I gaze at myself in the mirror. I watch as my waist feels like the tension of the garter belt begins to lessen. I look closer as my bra straps loosen slightly as well. I notice my flesh seems to be shrinking. Letting out a gasp, my eyes become glued to my reflection. I can clearly see my shoulders narrowing along with my waist, all of my belly fat disappearing completely, leaving a flat, smooth tummy. The skin across my body seems to soften immensely as any signs of stubble across my body or face seems to disappear entirely. I'm changing, I mutter to myself under my breath, not upset in the slightest, but a bit shocked by the supernatural nature of what's happening. I look on as my shoulders and waist cease shrinking, leaving my hips the same size as before. I realize my torso is beginning to shorten itself, diminishing my overall stature. I watch as my height dwindles slowly and 2 mounds develop on my now much smaller bosom. The fleshy mounds expand until they fully occupy the C-cups of my bra. I poke at them, feeling their softness and even jiggle them a bit, feeling their weight on my body. Excited, I begin to pull up my stockings, making sure the back seams are straight and neat. As I do so, my legs soften greatly and shrink slightly in length, further dwindling my overall height. I peek in the mirror as I pull the next stocking up and secure the garter straps to hold them up. My legs seem to round out, becoming slightly pudgy, but certainly shapely. My mouth is hung open as I look at how small and petty I've come. It looks like I'd certainly fit into that size 2 dress at this point. And I felt so short. I had no idea what my height was, but I knew I used to be 5 feet 11 inches. Bailey was 5 feet 9 inches. I was struck with an idea. Opening the dressing room slightly ajar, I whispered, Bailey, can you come in here for a moment? My head shot to my crotch as I felt my penis begin to move. I blushed intensely as I felt it shrink inside the white panties. Oh, sure, Bailey entered, closing the door. We lock eyes, my hand on my crotch as I feel my penis and balls disappear entirely underneath the soft, lacy cotton. I blush, as I know what had just happened, looking up at Bailey. Wait, what? She states, utterly confused. Charlie? Yes. I smile, staring up at her. Her eyes go wide as I take my hand away from my crotch and point to my breasts, still gazing up into her widened eyes. You've been changed, she stutters. I suppose you should call me Charlotte, I say with a giant, excited smile. Oh my God! This is unreal, Bailey says, looking me up and down. Can I? She asks, pointing at my breasts. Okay, I say, as she pokes my new asset's soft flesh and pulls back. Well, this is certainly shocking, but I don't know if you're done yet. It seems like the clothes have had some sort of effect on you, on this. Wait, I have an idea for your face. I'll be right back. Bailey exits again. I look back into the mirror and see my still male face and hair over a completely female body, minus my comically large hands and feet. I take the pink camisole and slip it down over my head, noticing that my hair had grown slightly in the act. Eagerly and with intense excitement, I adjust the straps to fit my petite frame as I reach for the dress. I unzip it in the back and slip it over my head, adjusting it over my body. It fits entirely perfectly. I guess I'm a lady's size 2 now, I say to my reflection, wide-eyed and breaking out a crazy huge smile. I look on as my hair grows a bit more, a side sweep breaking across my forehead. My hair reaches just above my shoulders, as it seems to lighten very slightly in color, gently increasing in volume. Looking down, I see my nails begin to manicure themselves and become slightly glossy. I hear a knock. Answering, I see Bailey's face, her eyes going wide for a brief moment, before hastily entering and closing the door back up. Okay, I brought some more things. This is just crazy. How do you feel? She asks, panting like she had just run back here. You know, I feel incredible, I say, reaching for the diamond necklace, pulling it behind around my neck. I can't believe. I stop speaking for a moment, as my voice seems way higher, but gulp and continue to fasten the necklace at the back of my neck. I accept this entirely, I say, now in a girl's high soprano voice, letting my hands fall to my sides. I point to my body and look up at Bailey, giving her a smile of reassurance that I was totally okay. Well, let me help you with your face. It seems your hair has grown, she tells me, almost worried still. Please. And no, I'm fine. I place my small hand on her shoulder, looking up into her eyes. You're so short, she giggles slightly. Oh, hush, I laugh, blushing. You must be like 5 feet 6 inches. You must be like ready to help me with that makeup? I say sarcastically, winking and smiling at her. She laughs and turns me around with her strength. Say bye to that face. Oh, with pleasure, I snicker. Part 3, a girl at long last. Bailey moves in front of me and starts to apply the makeup, foundation, contouring, blush, eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara, brow powder, and, finally, lipstick. Throughout, I can feel her touch as well as oddness as my face contorts and transforms. Bailey stops and just stares. Holy shit. I gently push her aside as the mirror greets me once more. My face has become entirely feminized. I look completely like a girl. My hair grows a bit more as Bailey places the red headband onto my head, a cute fringe extended out over my forehead as the ends of my hair become curly just below my shoulders. I stop breathing as I take in the reflection. Don't forget these. Bailey dangles the heels behind me, as I can see over my shoulder in the mirror. I take them, still in ecstasy over my new appearance, my mouth frozen in an O shape. I place them on the floor in front of me and place my toe into the right shoe. It feels very tight at first, but I'm able to get further inside the shoe as I look downwards. My foot is shrinking before my eyes. My mind goes slightly numb as I climb into the other shoe, feeling the heel of my right shoe click onto the back of my right foot, the ladies' size 5 shoes beginning to fit perfectly on my dwindling feet. I notice, although the feels have a 3-inch heel, I haven't become any taller than before. I turn to face Bailey, wobbling slightly in my new shoes as I feel any remaining tightness in all of my clothes dissipates completely. The dress falls on me perfectly as I find myself arching my neck even further to meet Bailey's eyes. Am I even smaller? I ask. Why yeah. It looks like you're a real size 2, and like really closer to 5 tall, she says, her eyes looking me over. I feel my dwindling stop as I slowly turn back towards the mirror. I feel utterly drunk as I see the gorgeous, petite girl staring back at me. I can't stop staring through my wide eyes as I see female me staring back. Charlotte, I whisper to myself, unable to blink, with Bailey standing behind me, placing her hand on my shoulder.